it's nice to see you today. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, evening, night, whenever you get to watch this. Right now, I'm sitting outside. It's cold, but it's not too cold, so I thought I would come out here and kind of talk to you guys for a little bit. I have a new book I want to read to you guys. It's called The Joy of Home Winemaking, and this is by Terry Gary. This is actually a woman, and she's actually kind of like my personality, and that's why I think I like her. I really want to go over this book with everybody and do it chapter by chapter. I really think it could be helpful for us first-time winemakers, learning how to do things the correct way and not always listening to the influences of other YouTubers or people. So we have some things in writing. I've been looking at other books to buy. The one that does not really impress me is the one where it says, Winemaking for Dummies. Because we're not dummies. So yeah, I'm going to read this one to you. We're going to go through the introduction, and I hope that you're going to like this book as much as I do. I went through the first chapter, kind of glimpsed over everything, and she just seems like a very good, down-to-earth person that I would love to have hung out. This book was published in 1996. So she was in her 20s in the 1996. So she's a little bit older than me, but she's got an awesome personality, and I can't wait to read this with you. So let's get started. The first page that she has here that I like is Do the Best You Can and Don't Worry. My grandmother Gary during an earthquake. And that is very true when it comes to wine. Do the best you can and don't worry. Just keep going. If you can follow a simple recipe, you can make a wine. If you can make it in the tiniest kitchen apartment, you don't need much special equipment. You don't have to be Italian or French or a chemist. You have to be an adult over 18 or 21, depending on where you live, with a sense of adventure, curiosity, and patience. Home winemaking is easy, as I'll show you. Do yourself a favor, though, and read through at least the first 3 chapters of this book before you start. Nothing wastes more time than an undue haste. Here's how I got started. Many years ago, I spotted some Danish strawberry wine in a shop. I was young, but I had a good wine and knew what it should taste like. My father bought the pretty bottle for me since I wasn't yet 21, but he cautioned me that I wouldn't like it. Opening and tasting the strawberry wine was a disappointment. I won't call it a bitter disappointment because it was so sweet that it made my teeth curl. My father laughed, so did I, as I remember my grandmother used it over vanilla ice cream so it wouldn't go to waste. It lasted a long time. Many years after that, a friend came to dinner, bearing with him a bottle of homemade raspberry wine. Friends of his in the Santa Cruz Mountains had made it. I trusted his judgment. We opened the wine. When I read about wine as a child, I imagined it tasting a particular way. The little sips my parents gave me of what they were drinking were nice, but not what I had imagined. The raspberry wine from Santa Cruz was the wine of my dreams. It smelled softly of a ripe raspberries and was dry, clean, flavorful, yet subtle. I instantly felt that this was the way I had always dreamed wine could be. Please understand that I love grape wines. I honor and respect the winemakers' traditions of the world. It is true, however, that I tend to drink American wines over French wines and German due to habitat, chauvinism, and economy. It is also true that I have no illusions about my chances of duplicating a Bordeaux in my basement, but that's okay. I don't want to. The Bordeaux region does what it does just fine. Fruit wines are my first love. A year after I moved from the Midwest from California, I made my first gallon of apple wine with the recipe a friend had given me. It featured frozen apple juice and lemonade. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Another friend sipped of it. The next time I saw him, he handed me a packet of champagne wine yeast and said, "Try this on the next batch." He was a beer brewer and knew that yeast was important, you see. I had been using bread yeast, so I tried it. He was right. It was much better. He suggested I learn to bottle. I did. And he was right. The wine was better. More than a year after my excursion, I decided to try to make wine out of real fruit. It wasn't easy. I didn't know anyone who did it and couldn't find any current information about making wine. My partner found some old British books dating from the 1960s and 1970s and used bookstores. Painstakingly, I cobbled together a method, crossed it with what I had already learned on my own, and there it was, my first batch of strawberry wine. Dry, a bit thin, but quite nice, thank you very much. And a year after that, the first of the raspberry was born. I had done it. I had made raspberry wine. I've made apple wine, grape, cranberry, raspberry, mint, potato, carrot, raisin, dandelion, blueberry, pineapple, sage, and all sorts of other wines from fruits, flowers, herbs, and combinations of fruits. I've had mead, Malamel, Sizer, and Methylgelen. The most popular ones among me and my friends are raspberry, apple, strawberry, carrot, blueberry, made from the whole fruit on the dry side, and the fruit melomels. You may gag at the idea of carrot wine. It's okay, I'm used to it, but I assure you it's wonderful. It doesn't taste like carrots, oddly enough, but vaguely like a dry rind. What wine goes with that? Almost any homemade wine will go with Chinese food. Light pasta, salads, sandwiches, chicken, salmon, and vegetable dishes. Almost any homemade wine will go with anything. Although you meat eaters may find you still need a rich red grape wine for beef, which is difficult to achieve with non-vinifying fruits unless you use grape concentrate or a grape wine kit. That's the only crappy thing about living in the neighborhood is then you have people staring at you because you're reading out loud. Oh my gosh. Okay. You can also cook with homemade wine. For Chinese cooking, instead of a sherry, I am still using a batch of raisin wine I made 5 years ago. The older it gets, the better it is. A dash of raspberry or apricot wine in the saute pan at the right moment does wondrous things to pork, turkey, chicken, fish, and vegetables. I've used my homemade wines in desserts, mustard, sauces, and salad dressings. And last but not least, I give it to people who I know will appreciate it. Do I sell it? Absolutely not. Which brings us to the next section. So I'm going to stop right here for this section. We'll pick up on the next one probably in a couple days or next week. I really hope that you liked the first little intro of this introduction, and we'll pick up on a couple more bits and then we'll really get into the meatier parts of the chapters. So I really hope that you like this first beginning part of the readings and you stick around for more. If you like this type of stuff and you want to continue doing this, please hit me a comment down below and like and subscribe, and it would really help me out a lot if you could share and have other people subscribe too. I told you guys earlier, my birthday month is coming up, so I would really like to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark that everybody wants, the rainbow mark. So if you guys could get me over that hump, that would be great. And I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.